What's up guys, AJ here. In this video, I'm going to be talking about how to work with buyers. So you got that buyer lead, you're all excited, you're ready to set the appointment, but you're asking yourself, should I meet him at the house? Or should I actually meet him at, say, a Starbucks, a coffee shop, and do a buyer consultation? The correct answer is to meet them at a coffee shop somewhere nearby and do a buyer consultation. Most of the time, they're gonna persist that they just meet you at the first house. So know that right off the bat. And if they're really pushy on the phone about that, and that's really what they wanna do, then it's okay to meet them at the first house. Totally cool, just get in front of them. But if you can casually try to get them to a Starbucks to meet with you first, hey, there's a Starbucks 5 minutes from that neighborhood. How about we meet there and I can show you what I do differently than all the other agents to help my buyers find the right house at the best price. And at the same time, I'll get a better feel for really what you're looking for. You're not being pushy. You're not trying to force them to do anything. You're trying to position yourself in a way that causes them to do what you want them to do, which is sit down with you so you can go over a needs analysis. You should have a needs analysis checklist that answers all the questions. How many bedrooms, price point, fence, no fence, how many car garage, those different types of questions. And then after the needs analysis, what you want to do is go over a buyer presentation. So you should have a packet put together about what makes you different than all the other agents that they could work with. And then also you want to try to get a commitment from them. You want to have them sign like a buyer's agency agreement. That way they're your client, they're working exclusively with you. And you want to set that precedent right off the bat because you don't want them shopping around, calling on other yard signs, going into an open house next weekend, calling on Zillow and getting those agents reaching out to them. You really want to get that commitment right off the bat. But if you can't, that's okay. You're gonna earn their business when you go show them the house. The second option, you just show up to that first house. Let's first pretend though that you met them at Starbucks, you did the buyer consultation, so you're showing up to that first house. You always want to make sure that you have 2 or 3 other properties to show them right after that first one, because a lot of the time, most of the time actually, they're not going to purchase the first house that they see. And when they go through the house, they don't like it, they kind of like look at you like you're attached to that house. Like, hey, this agent showed me this house, I need to go out and find other houses that might fit me better, an agent that can find me a different house, and they're kind of done with you unless you really impress them. So after you're done showing them that first house, what you're gonna wanna do is say, hey, I totally get that this house was not a fit for you, no problem. My goal was not to sell you this house actually. In fact, my goal is really just to make sure that you find the house that fits your needs the best. And I can show you any house listed on the market and even properties that are off the market, like foreclosures, pre-foreclosures, and also pocket listings. So if we go in and something you're not interested in and you know right off the bat it's not a good fit for you, that's no problem. My goal is not to sell you this house. My goal is to really find the best house that fits your needs. And I actually have 2 more lined up that we can go take a look at right after this one. They're very similar to this, similar price point, similar square footage, and I think they might be a great fit for you, so we can check those out afterwards. So if we go in and you just tell right off the bat, this ain't a good fit for you, just let me know. It's not gonna hurt my feelings. We can go check out those other 2 if you got time today. If not, we can reschedule it for maybe tomorrow. Sound fair? So once you're in the front door, let them know to casually look around the house. Let them know that you'll let them know important things about the home. And if they have questions to ask you, but don't lead them through the house. Just let them kind of do their thing, be right there by them. That's gonna make them feel more comfortable. It's not gonna be like the cheesy HGTV thing. And this is a kitchen, right? Everybody knows what a kitchen is. But be a resource, let them know, hey, I have the answers, I'm right here, but you do your own thing. Let's say you couldn't set that meeting prior to showing the first house. So you show up, you need to make that great first impression, dress professionally. Even if it's hot out, I would always wear a suit coat, maybe not always a tie, but I was always dressed professionally. Ladies, dress professionally. This is your one chance to make a first impression, right? Show up in a clean car. It doesn't have to be a BMW, Mercedes, but you want your car to be clean. You wanna step out and not look disheveled, have all your stuff in order, maybe have a clipboard with the MLS sheet on it, a needs analysis, so you're taking notes about what they want. This is really your chance to really do a buyer consultation, kind of as they tour the home. So same thing as before, don't lead them through the house, but as they're walking around, so are you only looking at 3 bedrooms? Because they called on that. And a lot of this information you might have from the script that you use to convert this into an appointment, but your goal is to really, whatever information you don't have, you're kind of casually asking it and taking notes as you're going through the home with them. And then once you're done, you can regroup at the kitchen counter. Hey, what do you think on a scale of 1 to 10? Do you think it's a good fit for you and your family? If it's a 6, 7, 9, 10, write the offer. Whatever it is, do the appropriate thing. But if they're not gonna buy that house right there, right then, do a mini buyer consult right there at the kitchen counter. You can finish that needs analysis. You can show them your buyer packet. Really only take 5-10 minutes. Like, this should be pretty quick, and only show them really the hot points in your buyer presentation. If they're a new home buyer, you really want to make sure that they feel good and comfortable, that you're going to help them navigate the waters. When you show up, make sure that you're excited. Buying a house is exciting, and if you're not excited for them, if you're not congratulating them on making the right decision to purchase a home, if you're not saying, wow, this is so exciting, are you only looking for homes in this neighborhood, or are you open to the city next to us? Like, whatever it is, just be affirming and excited and enthusiastic, because enthusiasm sells. The key points I want you to take out of what we've discussed so far is there's two options. Option A, meet them at a coffee shop for a buyer consult. Option 2, meet them at the house. And if you feel like your phone sales skills aren't that great yet, maybe you're just always going for meeting them at the house, just getting in front of them because you do better in person. That's okay too, but just kind of reflect on how things are going for you. If you do a buyer consult, are you more likely to actually close that client? Are you screwing it up if you just meet them at the house first? You really need to be conscious of what you're doing. This is just what I found that has worked for myself and for hundreds of other agents. Now lastly, say they don't buy a house on the first time out, which a lot of times they don't, right? You want to do a good job being a proactive agent, adding value. Don't just be the agent that's sitting back and when they call you to go see some houses, you go show them. I always hear all the time from clients, hey, my last agent, all they did was open doors for me. They got paid for doing nothing. I found the house that I purchased. So you want to be thinking, how can I find some properties that maybe they're not seeing online? Maybe if they're only looking at 4 bedrooms, you're finding some 3 bedrooms with a bonus. Maybe they're only looking up to 250, but you bump the search up to 275, and you say, hey, I know your max was 250, but I found this one for 265. Would you be open to seeing it this Saturday? And I got a couple others lined up that might be a good fit. Be proactive in the process, and that's really gonna be important to them, because if they aren't buying a home for the first time, then they know what it may have been like before, where the agent just sat back and collected the check. So show that you're proactive. Let them know that you're working for them. If you're doing seller prospecting, calling for sale by owners, expireds, let them know. If you're circle prospecting, you can say, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, I don't just sit back like all the other agents and let you tell me what houses you want to see. I'm proactive too. Every day I'm calling sellers on your behalf, trying to find properties that are not even on the market yet. Expired listings. These are homes that may have expired 6 months ago. They still want to sell, but it's not actively on the market. So I'm calling those every day. I'm calling for sale by owners, so I know all the homes for sale, not just the ones on the multiple listing service. I'm even calling into neighborhoods for you, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, and asking them, because you said you love this neighborhood right here. Yesterday, I called the entire neighborhood and asked, hey, do you know anyone looking to sell a house in the neighborhood? Hey, by the way, do you plan on selling your home? That's a great script. I call that the hot buyer script. So let them know that you're being proactive, and I promise you, you'll have a client for life, because if you're gonna be in this business for a long time, which I hope you are, play the long game, serve at a high level, care about your clients, go the extra mile, because you want to build a referral-based business. Not only is it more profitable because it's less money that you need to spend on advertising for new clients, but it's way more fun because you're working with clients you love. I hope you got some value out of this video. Smash that like button, hit the subscribe button. It really helps the YouTube algorithm, and I would really appreciate that. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. I would love to answer them. And guys, I'll see you next week.